1984 by George Orwell is a seminal work of dystopian literature, offering a chilling portrayal of a totalitarian world where government control has stripped away individual freedoms, privacy, and even truth itself. The novel is set in Oceania, a fictional superstate controlled by the party, under the ever-watchful eye of its leader, Big Brother. Here's a detailed summary of the novel. Setting and context. The story takes place in a grim, oppressive world dominated by the party, led by Big Brother. The party exerts absolute power over the citizens of Oceania, enforcing strict loyalty through constant surveillance and rigorous censorship. The world is divided into three superstates, Oceania, Eastasia, and Eurasia, which are in a perpetual state of war, and each has a strict, authoritarian government. The party has 4 ministries, each with its own iron-fisted control over life. The Ministry of Truth, where history and information are manipulated to match party doctrines. The Ministry of Peace, which manages war affairs. The Ministry of Love, which deals with law enforcement, punishment, and brainwashing. The Ministry of Plenty, which oversees economic affairs, rationing goods, and maintaining a state of scarcity. Main plot. Winston Smith's life and inner rebellion. The protagonist, Winston Smith, is a middle-aged man who works for the Ministry of Truth. His job involves altering historical records to align with the party's ever-changing propaganda. Despite his outward conformity, Winston harbors a strong inner hatred for the party and dreams of rebelling. Winston lives a bleak, lonely existence, constantly monitored by telescreens and the thought police. Individual thoughts, or thought crimes, are punishable by death or worse, and language is gradually stripped down to a form called newspeak, which eliminates words that could allow for rebellious thoughts. Julia and the Act of Rebellion. Winston's life changes when he meets Julia, a young woman who also secretly despises the party. Although initially suspicious of her, Winston finds himself drawn to her rebellious spirit. The two start an illicit relationship, meeting in hidden places to avoid the party's surveillance. Their romance gives them a taste of freedom and individuality, defying the party's control over personal lives. The two share a strong desire to overthrow the party and begin to dream of a better life. They discuss the possibility of joining a rebellious group called the Brotherhood, which supposedly works against Big Brother, although its existence remains unclear. They eventually meet with O'Brien, a party official who pretends to be sympathetic to their cause. Betrayal and the power of the party. Winston and Julia's rebellion, however, is short-lived. They are betrayed by O'Brien, who reveals himself as a loyal member of the party and a high-ranking official in the thought police. Winston and Julia are arrested, tortured, and brainwashed in the Ministry of Love. O'Brien becomes Winston's torturer, relentlessly breaking him down both physically and mentally to enforce the party's ideology. During his imprisonment, Winston is subjected to horrifying torture and psychological manipulation. He is forced to confront his deepest fears in Room 101, where O'Brien uses Winston's fear of rats to break his spirit completely. The party forces him to betray Julia, demonstrating that even personal loyalties can be destroyed under pressure. Acceptance of Big Brother and the end of individuality. After relentless torture, Winston is finally brainwashed into loving Big Brother. His memories, emotions, and rebellious thoughts are erased, and he loses his sense of self entirely. The novel ends with Winston, once a passionate opponent of the party, now genuinely worshipping Big Brother, signifying the party's complete victory over individuality. Themes and concepts. 1984 delves deeply into themes of power, surveillance, truth, and the erasure of individuality. Totalitarianism and power. Orwell's Oceania is a depiction of a government that holds absolute power, controlling every facet of citizens' lives, right down to their thoughts. Surveillance and control. The party's control is maintained through constant surveillance, both physical and psychological, keeping citizens in a state of fear and obedience. Language and thought. By limiting language through newspeak, the party limits the range of thoughts individuals can have, restricting even the concept of rebellion. Reality and truth. The party manipulates truth and reality, reshaping history to fit its narrative and maintaining power by controlling how people perceive reality. Isolation and individualism. Winston's journey reflects the struggle to maintain personal identity in a system designed to crush individuality, showing how oppressive regimes isolate people to enforce conformity. Conclusion.